Hey everybody, it's Alex here for StudioFernandina. Thanks again for finding me online, taking the time to watch these videos, and hopefully you're liking what you're seeing, and you continue to follow me. And now that I've consolidated my social media for the most part, you can go on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube and just type in StudioFernandina. It's all one word, and you should be able to find me pretty easily. But welcome to the March update. I know it's a week into April. I was a little lazy, a little procrastinating. I started a new job finally. Figured that, yeah, kind of need to pay the bills. It's usually a nice thing. But anyways, readjusting my life around that work schedule kind of threw my art game off a little bit, and I was putting it on the back burner and kind of forgot about it, and it's bad for me. I shouldn't have done that. Got backtracked, but makes for a pretty interesting April now that I'm kind of settled in. But anyways, I got some cool things to show you in this video. I did a time lapse of the shape and line drawing from start to finish, and I can show you, and I show and kind of explain a little bit of what I was doing with the swirl painting and what I'm going to do with the scribble painting. Unfortunately, because of that job and because of my procrastination, I didn't finish the paintings. I only finished the drawing. But at the time I filmed the next clip in the video, I hadn't finished any of them. And I'll also talk about, I'm going to do a bigger time-lapse video for April that includes me finishing up the paintings for March and doing the 2 paintings for April. So you'll see how I can work on 3-4 paintings at the same time. So that'll be an interesting thing to see in April, see the whole thing by itself. And I'm going to end up posting these, just the time-lapse videos separately outside of the update with their own different commentary, or maybe some of that free music or whatever in the YouTube video making stuff. I haven't gone too into it, but anyways, I hope you like what I got for you in this video today, and once I'm done with the time lapse and the other explanations, I'll sum it up and I'll see you next month. So as my angelfish kind of look at me and wonder what the hell is going on, why I'm not feeding them yet. Just get this. You can see here, you got this is the background for the swirl painting. I was gonna make a square one this year, and I was gonna try to do it at a different angle. So the concept, I was trying to make it so it could be hung in any direction, so the swirls don't look a certain way, even though the background only goes one direction. That the swirls, whether you painted it, whether you hung it in any way, would make sense, that there really is no up or down for it. Which is kind of what I'm trying to do for all 3 paintings this month, and really everything going forward. Even though I love to sign the works, and kind of like, I know what the up and down is supposed to be versus how I painted them. When I painted them, it kind of defines what the up is. The high point on the painting, it's usually my signatures in the lower right. But then it just makes it look weird if people want to hang them differently. So I'll probably just start signing them all on the back. But anyway, this background here, if I can get the focus to work right with this light, I was throwing some more pastels in there just because of the since it was Easter and everything, and so you get springtime. Well, springtime in some places. I mean, it's snowing in Buffalo and New York up again now. But I'm in Florida, so I don't have to deal with that anymore after 22 years of living there. But you can kind of see the little streaks of purple and some green and some blue mixed in there underneath the yellows. I didn't do a like real dark, like school bus yellow type of anything, but the swirls, I'll probably throw some darker yellows in there. Maybe I'll see. This will happen probably tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to a concert tonight, so it'll happen tomorrow. But so that's all I got from the swirl painting. It's just a little more in-depth of a background than I normally do. The backgrounds usually take a few seconds, and then I have to let it dry, and then a few more seconds. But this is the end result of the shape and line drawing. And I can kind of tell the autofocus is not sure what to do at the moment. But you can see it's yellow and gray. those are the colors that I wanted to do, and I did it as a full color drawing, and I also put a little more math into it, trying to make it as even as possible on a whole when you back up to it. Because even though there's a few sides on the lower right compared to the left, this has one big piece, the dimensions of it are all kind of even. So when it'll get put in its frame and be all flat and nice, and you're walking closer to it, it really pulls you in. You get that more detail. It gets that more depth because it's even like that, especially with the paper. Even though the shapes are different, the shapes aren't exactly centered or anything. Just kind of it messes with your head a little bit more, and probably something that people with like prone to seizures may not want to stare at too closely. But you'll see the time lapse of this. It takes a few hours to do. If I really sat down and just did one and did nothing but this, I could probably get it done in a good 6-7 hours straight. For this size, I mean, especially with the India ink pens. With these guys are a lifesaver. It's definitely a good step up in the right direction from gel pens, and for not having to blend the color, for just putting straight color on paper. Definitely a better investment than any seemingly more affordable alcohol markers, but the alcohol markers run out quickly. And I like these too because I can change the focuses. I can change the texture and the look of it based on the pressure that I apply, and get different shades of color out of the same pen. And as I get more in depth with these drawings and I try using it on canvas, I'm going to experiment some more. And I'll get to the point where I'm going to try to not exactly blend color, but just to add more colors. And I want to see how that texture is going to end up looking, and how I can play with that and have some fun. So definitely some exciting things to come out of there. But you'll see how I did this all in the little time lapse video in a minute. And this blank, scuffed up black canvas is supposed to be the scribble painting. It's invisible at the moment if you can't tell. It takes about 2 weeks for the paint to turn visible. So yeah, I'm just waiting for it to develop. You know, it's like a Polaroid. But in reality, it's a real simple thing. These are probably the easiest for me to do, just because I can pretty much put the paint on this and then go back to the scribble and then go back to this as it dries, and just switch back and forth between 2 or 3 different pieces of art. And that's how I did the last few months, because I will paint one of these, I'll paint the scribbles, and then I'll go draw on this for an hour, and then I'll go back, scribbles, swirls, paint, scribbles, swirls, line, like, it's just a process, and I can flip back and forth to monopolize my time efficiently and get as much work done when I'm in that creative mood. But this is going to be, shades of yellow. I know I did purple on black, and it didn't exactly turn out too well. It looked a little too dark, so that's why I wanted to do it one more time, do it with the yellow. I figure that's the lightest I'm going to be able to get, and hopefully it'll work with yellow compared to the purple, which I don't have the purple hanging up. It's actually it's out on display right now, so I should probably take it down and hide it or burn it or something. I don't know. I gotta work on it. I gotta fix it some more. But as you can tell there's the purple line drawing, and that's with the alcohol marker, and you can't, until you get up real close to it, you can't tell where the imperfections and the differences are in the shades of color and how it ran out. But those are the 3 of these for the month. Like I said, that's all I've gotten done, unfortunately. Life got in the way. But the only other thing I wanted to show you before I do that time lapse is I was working a little more on this guy, and I've gotten to the point where all I have to do is some touch-up work, and I have to finish these edges, because you can tell there's a big gap right there in between the small canvas and the big canvas, and that's going to get covered up and painted in, so it'll be one seamless piece, the same way the edges of the regular canvases are perfectly painted and seem like one piece to it. The only touch-up work I'm talking about is kind of like these points where the where the purple and the blue blend in together. Some of them just aren't as good as I want them to be. And some of the lines, like I purposefully just kind of did it in a straight middle area because I wasn't sure how far out or how far in I was going to push any of the color. So now that I have that big background piece on here and I know the general shape and outline that I'm going for, I'll be able to finish blending the color so it looks more like that, like this one on the right and the one here on the top part of the big canvas, just to get those lines, get that look right. Still probably going to be another month of a little bit, an hour here, hour there. This labor of love has taken me, when did I start this? I started this in August. No, September, so, but still, pretty close. But I'll be excited when it's done, and then I'll move on to the next giant line, shape and line painting, which I touched on like January, February, which is that guy down there, which is going to be 16 individual 1 square foot canvases, all the same picture, just reversed on them. But that's where I'm going to add a lot more color. So instead of having like 2 colors, 3 colors, there's going to be like 6 or 7 or 8 colors. It's going to be weird. But yeah, that's all I've been doing for this month. Besides working and getting my life back on track. So I stitched together all the time-lapse pieces and I sped it up as fast as possible. This should take about 3.5 minutes. There's a point real early on where I spill my beer. It took about 5 minutes to clean up, but it takes a second in this video. You'll see some stuff move on the table. That was right there, that was my oh shit moment of this project. I was just kind of glad that it didn't spill onto the paper itself, that it spilled the other way. But I like doing these because of the precision that it takes. I'm kind of a recovering perfectionist, so just the accuracy, the attention to detail that you need to get lines this close, this precise, that's something that I always like doing, even though it'll hurt your eyes after a while. You're shifting focus back and forth, and definitely you get a few hand cramps there as well. But you can see once I get the basic shapes down, once I know the edges of the shapes are in the right directions, that I do a lot of math into them just to try to make sure they fit for the paper when I'm doing these drawings. When I do it as a painting, I'm not necessarily worried about the math and the geometry as much. I'm just trying to make something cool. I haven't done anything real big as far as being geometrically perfect yet. That's one of the ones that I touched on in the video, and I think I showed it off last month, or it might have been in the January update, that large test work that's going to be painted. It's going to be a shape and line drawing, but it's 16 canvases, 16 1 square foot canvases, and that's actually not even the final piece. That's just the test piece. The real one is going to be the one that has 2 foot squares, and that's going to be 6 colors, 8 colors all blended together in the same exact style as this. 2 layers, maybe even 3 layers, because it's going to be so big. But as you can see how detailed and how tedious this is with just drawing it, you can imagine how painting it goes. I mean, I've shown you the progress, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen the progress of that big blue and purple one that I've been working on for the last few months, and that's all painted. I still have to draw the lines on every single canvas, and the lines still get just as precise, but the painting, when I'm dealing with paint instead of just the India ink, is definitely a more unique challenge for it. It'll be fun and easier to blend colors in on paint, but it's still a different process, and I can't exactly go crazy with it all over. I can't move it around. I can't touch it everywhere immediately, and just to be able to get that perfect angle where I can paint it the best, because I'll screw up the paint. But with drawing like this, you can see how I just constantly flipping it around and around and around, just going clockwise, counterclockwise. I switch back and forth once or twice depending on what part of the piece I'm working on. But maybe I'll do a couple time lapses, like a short one of a painting that I do, but it probably wouldn't be as interesting as this. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you thought the time lapse was interesting. I'm going to get better at it. At least I hope I'm going to get better at it. Like I said, I'm going to do the one in April that you'll see at the end of the month. You'll see for the two paintings that I didn't finish from March and the two paintings from April, all at the same time. And like I've explained in the past, those paintings are faster for me to do, especially than the shape and line drawing, I mean. So that time lapse itself will probably end up being a shorter time lapse video when it's all said and done, even though it's 4 paintings instead of 1 drawing. So, but anyways, like I said, something to look forward to for next month, and I'm trying to get a little different, switch it up with the video a little bit, and film a touch, like a few minutes of it each week. That's what I'm hoping to get to, at least get into that steady rhythm for May, because that way it's always on my head a little bit, and I'm not just trying to rush and get it done at the last minute and then realize that it's a week into the next month and I still haven't posted the update from the last month. So learn my lesson from that, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. The only other thing I wanted to touch on, like some of the big things that I was talking about in the first video that we cut to before the time lapse, where I'm working on these big projects, trying to start working on them. Like I have that 16-piece canvas thing sitting on the floor that's been there for a month, collecting dust, because I'm finishing the shape and line painting that I've been doing for a few months. But I also have this giant project, the swirl project that I've been calling it, that I haven't really referenced or talked about in big detail or let out into the world yet. So in April and May, you'll be seeing a lot more about that. I'm just finishing up some details on it finally, and I'll release that to you guys into the world as a little preview. You can see kind of the details about it, what's it all about, what's going on with it, and hopefully I'll get some good feedback, retool it, tweak things if they need to be tweaked, and then launch the project to the world in the summer and see what happens with it. So that's another thing to hopefully pique your interest and keep you coming back for more. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Follow me on social media, StudioFernandina. I try to make it as simple as possible for everyone. It's just all one word. And I'll see you next time.